So I just finished sanding down all the waste parts now, bit by bit, trying to make sure that I covered every part of it and didn't miss anything. I also went through a series of sanding sponges, which now I think I'm running out of sanding sponges. So I used the 400 grit here and this one here, and then I use this fine 20 MED, which feels a lot, maybe around 600 or 800 grit. And on the flat surface I use my 1200 grit right here to smooth it out. Now, why would I do that if I'm just only removing a certain area, like, you know, the nub marks? Well, it also improves the bite that they say, or the adhesion of the paint when you paint it. So at least I got those taken care of. I was not going to have no problem with the waste, because as I was looking at the parts with the waste, I didn't see no issues for me that would make it more difficult. This one's already done. I just took this from the leg right now, sanded it down, but I'm going to get the sticky tack and clean it up a bit, make sure no residues left over from the sanding. I also sanded the whole thing here for this, which was a pain in the you-know-what, and I have a distinct feeling I know I missed something, like right here. There's one right there that can be a bit of an annoyance. There and there. That's fine. I think I got it. But this one I need to sand it down a little bit more. Now, going back to the head. I'm going to remove this. And as you could see, I cut these off. And I made a little canal here so that this goes in there. I haven't super glued it yet because I'm not ready to finalize it. The only difference is that when I was putting the holes through here, through that area, and I'm going to take this off right now. The holes go right through that area where the polycaps commit to. I'm going to attempt to drill some holes. Well, that's going to be a tough gig to do that, to drill a hole like that in that angle. Don't think I can do that here. Maybe I could probably feed it through there. The only problem is I got to feed also the holes through here as well, so I may have to drill a hole to the side, because then I want these wiring in the middle here, and then I'll solder it inside and get that done. But I'm gonna have to do that later after it finishes painting. But this idea that I had before did work. Right now I just have to glue that there if I have to, and then bring this down, and as you can see, it flushes to the backpack. There is this little gap there, but I'm not going to worry about that. But, and I guess when you put this over it, which I haven't sanded this part down yet, yeah, that looks okay. It is weird to see something like this, but that's alright. I'll deal with that later. Now, I was going to, hold on. I was sanding this part. This is the connection to the leg. Now, according to this, it has to be in this position, and as I'm reviewing the other leg, which I haven't taken apart yet, obviously you see that seam line that goes right down the middle. I can clean that, that's a problem. But this part is going to be a little weird being sanded down, and I I said to myself, I want to put some parts on this, or aftermarket parts, or something that I have that will work. Fortunately, I do have something. Hold on, I gotta look for the saw. All right. I'm gonna cut this off because I have some parts that can go on it. First, do this. Don't rush it, of course. Just take your time. I do it this way. There we go. It's a thick part, as you can see. There we go. Clean it up a bit. Now we really clean it up. Then what I'll do is I'll pull out one of my, I have some detailed, parts from sorry, I was trying to remember what it was, from either Kotobukiya or other parts. So I'm gonna like sand it down, flush it, and then put that part on it. This one seems like also a possibility of cutting it off, but the angle of the part is so, it won't allow me to cut it properly. So I'm not going to do that. I could probably put something over it. Yeah, that's not a big deal. Oh, maybe sand it down. Sand it down a lot, so that way I can then put it on. Actually, I'm going to flush this. Put this there. My 400 grit sanding plate is almost done here. This is the one that you could use to sand down blades, but this could work also. There is a scarring there, so I need to clean it up. So yeah, I'm gonna put a plate on that, and then I gotta glue this part together. Let me do that right now. Take this off, and that's right, I gotta remove this. Oh, that's right. This thing is put together. Where is that tool? Finally get a chance to use this tool. Yeah, so this one, oh, can this be, no, that's right, it cannot be yanked. This is all stuck in there. And I guess I'm gonna have to put it together, yeah, and glue it on, because in that way, once it's glued, I gotta sand this down. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pre-prep this. I'm gonna cut this off here, and then once it's glued, I will then begin to slowly cut. And I think what I'll do is I'll pre-cut first up to here, because I know that if I put that there, it's going to be difficult for me. And then once I get that cut, I will then jury rig what I was thinking of doing. That's a lot of work here to do. I got the arms. Speaking of which, let me show you something with the arms. Let me finish this up. So I have some of the parts that I'm going to start priming black. I have previously primed the arms black so I can visually see the scarring and see how much cleanup I need to do. I've been going back and forth with cleaning up these parts. Just going in and primed it, check to see the scarring, because it's kind of hard to see it visually by itself. And then when I see what's going on and it needs to be cleaned up, then I go in and, you know, resand it down, put on more putty or whatever, and see if I can get them in. Hold on, I'm trying to... Come on, open up. Just getting an airbrush ready to go. Whoops. Here we go. I have a few. I'll just use this for now. Be a lot easier. Because this is just basically a demonstration. Let me just clean it up a bit. Get the tank running. Clean this up. Make sure it's nice and fluid right. And using black primer, probably a lot easier to see this. Because when I want to prime some of these parts, it's already been sanded down and cleaned up. Let me just get you out of the way. There we go. Create and go here. And go there. And, ooh, considering that this could be a lot of particles here and dust, let's clean that up a bit. Okay, the flow is good, clean, but the big boy is the big issue is this one. This was the issue that I was having before. Okay. Barely see the scar there. There's not, yeah. The line in the middle is gone. Excellent. Let me look at the other one now. There's an unusual mark right there. And the top part is showing a marking there. So I'm gonna finish priming the rest of the part, but once it dries, I'm gonna go back to sanding it down, maybe put a little bit more putty on that. Get that out of the way. Get that done. See, as it's drying, you can see the hint right there. It needs a little bit more work. Does definitely need a little bit more work. All right, I have a few more parts here to paint, prime black. I haven't done the other ones yet. I'll get to those soon. But let me finish what I have here, get them out of the way, and then we'll go back to the table and work on the other parts. Okay. Alright, so I'm cutting off the little leg thruster that's behind the leg. Now, I knew this was going to be a bit of a chore. Because there's thick parts here. And I gotta see how I can cut these off without damaging the surrounding plate. I'm going to use this as a guide. Now, you guys are probably wondering, what am I going to put here? Well, in all due fairness, I was looking through all my parts to see if I have something that will work for this. Oh, good. I don't have to worry about that. That will work for this. That will fit this. That will be unique to it. And guess what? I have nothing. I have nothing in this size and scale. Granted, maybe larger thruster bells would be a good idea. All right, I'm gonna have to pop this out. There we go. Thank you. You know, larger thruster bells would probably be a good idea. But I thought, I said, what could be out there that I can order or see online? Went through a lot of, websites like Temu and AliExpress, obviously eBay. I found a lot of stuff there. I went even to USA Gundam store, see if they have anything there that catches my attention. But this is a very, very big part area here. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a plate on that. I'm going to clean this up a bit, put a plate. And then my good friend Maverick, or Miguel, as I would call him, is 3D printing me some thrusters for this, for the front part right here, and obviously for the backpack, the two on the top. Now this one's going to be a much more difficult part to remove. And I think I may have to do some major damage. I have a drill bit, I have a drill, and I'm thinking I might have to drill a hole here, and then using the hobby knife, just begin to shave off and gut the inside out. Hopefully not damaging this plate, and then put in a new plate for it. And then once that's taken care of, once that I have that set up, then I'm going to put the plate on it, then glue these two together, because I don't have to do the back one right here, because this one goes right there, as you can see. So I'll be putting a plate back there, plate back here, new 3D printed part here and here. I wish I had a 3D printer, of course. And then I'll glue this on, and this part here I'm gonna cut off and make a new one for this, because there is a little bit of a plating mold there connection. We just need to, like I said, we don't have to worry about the whole thing, just up to the point where the knees kick in right there. So only all that, and maybe that right here, and that I need to clean up. There you go. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Thank you for your comments and likes. Obviously, somebody may not like what I'm doing. Probably saying, blasphemy, you're cutting a perfectly good MegaScale Zaku. Why? It's my kit. I just want to make it a little bit better. Alright, let me continue on, and then we'll move on.